everyone. Coach Sullivan here again with MTS Coaching Football. To my subscribers, I thank you. Non-subscribers, I'm hoping into teasing you push that button. This past fall, I completed my 38th year coaching football, and I was a defensive coordinator. But over that time, I've also been an offensive coordinator, special teams coordinator, a longtime head coach, and all of this at both the collegiate and high school levels. In this presentation, I want to talk to you about our match quarters variation that we call grade 3. Okay, so non-subscribers, right? And it's going to be against Carolina. Okay, now we use states for our two-man route concepts. Okay, so this is Carolina, as we call it. So over here are key terms that are important as to how we defend Carolina. And then over here, I'll bring it all to life for you in our, again, match quarters variation that we call grade 3. So number one starts off with the surface. For us, the surface is the offensive line. Tackle guard, center guard, tackle. Okay? When there's a tight end, he becomes part of the surface. So everybody on the board on the field, okay, is reading and reacting to the surface. It tells you run pass direction. So you never, ever fooled with play action pass. Okay? So then the number 2 term here is you read number 2, he tells you what to do. Read number 2, he tells you what to do. And in the case of grade 3, our match quarters variation, that is true for everybody except 2 positions, so 1 on each side. Okay, so number 2 in this case is running an out under 5 yards, all right? Because number 3, this is the curl flat concept, hence Carolina, curl flat. Okay, so the out route, shallow out route of number 2 is designed to hopefully open up the curl zone area. So I'm purposely using an 11 personnel, 11 formation that we call gun Dallas. Okay, didn't say Dallas up there, sorry. My apologies. I'm on lunch break here. Okay, gun Dallas pistol. So D, 2x2, non-subscribers, push the button. All right, it's middle of the field. And I'm doing it so I can show you the technical difference between our attached outside linebacker on a tight end and our detached, so an outside linebacker in space. Okay, otherwise everything else is mirrored, the same. So number 4, our attached outside linebacker, the guy in the tight end, always starts with knockback. Because that tight end is both the pressure and visual key. So he's the one guy who's got one person that's both pressure and visual. So he's going to hear his people around him, linebackers, DB, screaming pass, and I'll go over that when we get there. So it's knockback, expand, and then it's looking running back to crossers, and I'll show that to you when we get to the diagram. So then the difference in technique between the attached on the tight end and number 5, the detached outside linebacker in space, there's no knockback. He just reads the surface, expands, right? Reads number 2, then it's running back to crosses. So same thing, just eliminate the knockback. Here's the thing here, that's the variation in our match quarters. The corners, number 6, BC boundary and FC field. They got number 1 man. I'm going to show it to you in off, but we can also play it in press. Okay? So that's how we arrive at 9-on-9 football. But I'm going to get to that when I get to the diagram. Okay? And Carolina actually is a little different teaching it because we're going to get a certain combination on the curl because of grade 3. So number 7, our 2 safeties, whip and free. Okay, they're going to zone off, which is what they do, mirror the release of 2, and then they're going to get on top, be the high portion against the curl of number 1. And then our inside linebacker is number 8. Last but not least, it's running back 2, a mirror the Q. Running back 2, a mirror the Q. Okay? So what I'm going to show you, then I'm going to get rid of these lines. This is why it's called grade 3, right? The inside, outside, inside, and safeties are reading number 2. Corners is number 1, right? So that's the 9-on-9. Same thing over here. Inside, outside, safety. They're reading and reacting to number 2. Corners aren't in it. but I'm going to keep the corners in for this presentation because of the uniqueness of the curl flat. Okay, so for right now, I want to eliminate this because it's going to get in the way of how we're going to defend the curl. And this is one of the million reasons why we never ask anybody to spot drop, including inside linebackers, trying to get underneath the curl. Whoa! So what I want to do first in red is draw typical curl flat concept. So obviously the depth of the curl can vary, 14 come back to 12, 12 to 10, etc., right? But usually the out of number 2 is 5 yards or less, okay? So let's start off with the corner, and I'm on the attached side here versus the tight end, okay? So they show their outside leverage. Everything's the same. Our alignments are disguised, non-subscribers. So right now I'm just going to show the surface is in pass protection every single time. Okay, so the ball snapped. He's read surfaces pass. He stems inside, and now he's playing man for man. So what the corner does is he is the low underneath the curl, right? He's going to cut the curl because I'm going to skip for a second the outside linebacker, the safety, who is zoning off. When he reads the curl, he's going to break on top. So we have a low and a high. In essence, we have double covered the curl. So if you play a team that runs a lot of Carolina curl flat, play action, right, trying to put the inside linebacker in a pickle, 3-step out of the gun or 5-step, grade 3 is a terrific changeup. Okay, if you track and keep tendencies on down distance personnel groupings, you'll call it at the right time. Okay, so now the attached always, he's going to hear pass. He's taught, hold him on the line as long as you can, but as soon as you start to turn shoulders and hips, you got to let him go. So he is going to expand, right? And then he is going to stay underneath that. So he's going to cut number 2. Cut number 2. Cut number 2. Okay, in grade 3. Cut number 2. Okay, so therefore, running back and crossers aren't going to be a factor because number 2 is running in and out. In grade 3, right, corner has 1, so the outside linebacker has to take number 2 on the out now. And the quarterback has to read all of that on post-snap because he's used to seeing the corner match the out, right? And so if, I'm going to do it in black, if the out becomes a wheel, the outside linebacker has to carry the wheel, which is inside leverage, right, in between the receiver and the quarterback. Okay, so now over here, everything stays the same. Stems inside. He ends up cutting, right? Corner's the low. He's going to zone off. He's going to end up being the high. So we have a high-low on the curl. He's going to expand and cut. Number 2. If it becomes there, he's going to carry it with inside leverage because the safety's on top. We don't want to be, we'll go wall it. My bad. Build a wall. Same thing over here. Build a wall. Okay? And that way, if the ball is thrown, you're in between the receiver and the quarterback, and you're not going to necessarily have any help. We want to double cover high-low the curl. Okay, that's the reason. So my apologies. Inside is the wall. Build a wall. Again, sorry, I'm going a little bit quick here. Again, on lunch break, it's not a very long one. I got meetings coming up. Okay, so we're good. Got to cut and expand. So same thing over here now, right? You don't have to worry about running backs and crosses. You're going to cut. Number 2, wall the wheel, right? Wall the wheel. Okay, so we're good. So now, last but not least, inside linebackers, right? If running back is to them, go hug them up. Because outside linebackers are busy with number 2. Running backs away, mirror the cue. We let the scheme tell our inside linebackers what to do. So teams that like to run play action, thinking they're going to get them in a bind, right? An ISO play or an inside zone, and then now they scramble to get underneath the curl. We don't ever ask our inside linebackers to do that. Not in our base match quarters grade 4, not in our match quarters variation grade 3. We keep their assignments the same, our Mike and our backer. Okay? So sorry to be quick. Thank you for watching MGS Coaching Football. Any questions, please reach out to me at coachmjsullivan@gmail.com. Thank you for watching MGS Coaching Football, and thank you, YouTube, for providing that platform.